Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be working on my 350Z. I got an extended stud kit from Z1 Motorsports along with some hub-centric rings that go on the hub there that help center the wheel when you torque it down. And then, as you guys saw, as you guys saw in the last episode, my studs weren't long enough, the factory ones, the lug nut, because of the thickness of the works of the centerpiece that goes through the studs, or the studs go through, is a lot thicker than the factory wheel, so that's why we have to put the extended 50 millimeter studs on, so that way we have adequate grip on the lug nuts. So we're going to go ahead, guys, and get started here. We'll see if we can get one done today. It's towards the end of the day, and I've got a little extra time to put in on this, so I'm going to get it on the lift here, get the driver's side one off, and see about pulling off the brake caliper and the rotor. And then we can pull out the 5-pound hammer and knock the studs out from the front, and then we can install the new studs from the back. So let's get started, guys. Cue the music. Alright guys, I got it on the lift, and for me to do it with my particular lift, the lift posts are kind of extra close together because of my trusses, so I can't just extend them out to the smallest, thinnest part, so I gotta actually put the little 2-inch spacer on between the lift arm and the pad there, so that way it can get under and hit the pinch weld without having the thicker piece of the lift arm actually hit the side skirt and mess it up. So one of the tricks I always forget to do is just drive it up on 2x6s. Makes it a lot easier. Then I can just space it up, put the thing on. But to put it on today, I had to jack it up a little bit, set it on the pieces of wood, and then put the lift 2-inch spacers on, and then I could get it on the lift. So now it's already time for dinner. Me and my son Griffin put them on. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll get the works off. We'll get the driver's side work off, and then get the brake rotor, or the brake caliper and the brake rotor off, and then we'll bang the studs out with a 5-pound hammer, and then we'll install the new studs, and we'll see how many we're able to get done. So within that amount of time before I get sore, because I'm working on this all by myself. Like I said in my last video, working on the Z, suffering from muscular dystrophy, it's really tough to do this kind of stuff all by myself because I'm not able to pick up 25 pounds or stand up from a crouch. It's just how weak my skeletal muscles are. So, but I will not let it stop me from loving my cars and enjoying the little bit of happiness that my cars bring me. So, but all right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow, and we'll continue working on this. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Left off yesterday. We got the Z on the lift. So now let's go ahead and pick up right where we left off. And I'm going to go ahead and probably start on the driver's side. We'll get the driver's side front work off, and then we'll pull off the brake caliper and brake rotor, and then we'll pull out the 3.5-pound hammer. I said 5-pound hammer yesterday, but the 3.5-pound hammer, and we'll beat the studs out, beat the new ones in, and get that wheel back on, and we'll see if we'll be able to get more than just that one done today. So let's get started. Let's see what we have here. We got our studs from Z1 Motorsports here, and then our hub-centric rings from Concept Z Performance. Z1 Motorsports didn't have all of it, or I would have ordered it all from them. That's why I had to get those from Concept Z. Z1 Motorsports only had plastic ones, and I've heard those melt, so. Gold zinc coated, yeah, super high quality. Bull nose.
like the ocean, oh, your treasure hidden down below. As suddenly does it come, I know. Should I be scared if you stay or go? Tell me, am I insecure? Just overly emotional. Have I fallen down, down low? Searching for things I'll never know. Searching for things you'll never show. I guess I just don't wanna let go. But something tells me not to wait no more. So you got secrets. So you got
Alright guys, back on the 350Z today, after getting a bunch of chores and stuff done. Okay, yesterday you guys saw in the video, I used a socket and a lug nut to pull the stud on, just like, you know, you'll see other YouTubers do, or they tell you to do. But as you can see, it did this to the lug nut, and it doesn't suck them down all the way. Here, let me show you. I don't like that. Even with my impact gun being a really heavy snap-on 1/2-inch impact gun. But you can see, let me see if I can zoom in on it. So it kind of messes the threads up and you pull them on. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just, that's why I pulled off the unit bearing. I'm going to go ahead and just press them on with the press. Much easier, much safer. I'd feel a lot better about having them fully seated like that. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and just pull each unit bearing off and just press these on like this. So, all right, let's get started. And let's put this in the press and get them pressed on. And then we'll get the side reassembled. We'll go on the passenger side, rinse and repeat. Let's do it. Cue the music. Alright, got them all pressed on. You can see back here, they're flush. Which they were not doing, just trying to pull them through with a bunch of washers and a socket, or a lug nut, which I used a socket, but to use the lug nut, you can see where it just kind of, it's like it takes the coating off the threads, and it took off a little metal too. I didn't like that, so definitely a way to do it, guys. Just press it on. So, alright, so now that we got all 5 studs in this side, let's go ahead and reassemble this side. Cue the music. Picking up where we left off yesterday, guys. I went to put the unit bearing on, but this nut is damaged, or this bolt is damaged on the end from whoever previously installed this. So I'm gonna, well, I ordered up a couple of these from Nissan and a 12 by 1.25 tap to go ahead and tap that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the passenger side here, and we're gonna get this side, the right side is a technical term. We're gonna get this work VSKF pulled. We'll get the brake caliper and rotor pulled, and we'll get this unit bearing pulled. And then we'll get this reassembled and maybe move on to the rear today. We'll see. So let's get started, guys. Cue the music.
I was breathless, my heart restless. Every turn felt like it was wrong, but I kept going to show I was strong. Pushing to my own song, but you came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be You came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still. Deep inside I felt so gone, broken, I held to every wrong. I'm letting your light shine, I'm letting your love work through me. In every moment, breathing this moment, you came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be still, to know.
All right, guys, all done with the right side. We got the Z1 Motorsports 50mm studs pressed in using the press, and then we reassembled this side. We torqued down the unit bearing to 72 pounds, and then we retorqued. Then we torqued down the brake caliper to 105, and then we threw the wheel bit back on. So now that we're done with this side, we're going to go ahead and move on to the right rear tomorrow, because I need to work on that then. I've only able to work on this a few hours a day, so that's why I'm stretching it out over a couple days. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll get the right rear one finished up. Well, started. We'll get that wheel off, get the unit bearing off, and then we'll get the studs pressed on. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll continue working on this. Picking up right where we left off yesterday, guys. my friend Bryce came over and helped me finish up the passenger side last night. So now I'm back at the rear of the Z this morning. And so we're going to get started on the right rear here. Get this Volk pulled off, or work pulled off, Volk. And then get these brakes pulled and get this unit bearing off. So let's get started, guys. Cue the music.
Life is so easy. Give me your freedom. So selfish. Life is so easy. Give me your freedom.
Picking up where I left off yesterday, guys, I got the rear works pulled, and then I got the axle nut and cotter pin out, and then I had to go start making dinner. I'm only able to put a few hours in on this a day. That's why the clips are intermittent between working on it. So now that I'm back at this today, I'm going to go ahead and get these rear brake calipers pulled, rotors pulled, and then we're going to get these axle shafts pulled out before we get the unit bearing pulled out. So let's get started. Cue the music.
Sun is out here overseas. Dark emotions ever torn so deep, falling down through the clouds. I'm feeling you. Stay away from me. You keep haunting me.
just trying to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing off our balance? We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves. That we need.
All right, guys, now that we got all that stuff installed, you know, we got the rear unit bearings out, and we got the Z1 Motorsports 60 millimeter studs pressed into them using the press. I prefer that way. I think it's the correct way of doing it. And then I got the axle shafts put back in, torqued down, tightened down with the 3/8 impact gun on the axle shaft differential side. But before that, we torqued down the unit bearing nuts to their OEM torque spec, or their unit bearing bolts that hold them on. And that's 72 pounds. And then we got the Eibach lowering springs. I had a set of Eibach lowering springs from my old G35 that I saved. So we'll get some free low until we bag it. So I put those on. And then we put the brakes back on and torqued them down the spec, and I put the axle nut on and just used the air gun on that and got its little pin bent around like it needs to be. So now we're ready to go ahead and drop it on the ground and put these works back on the back. Let's see how it looks with these lowering springs. I'm excited. Alright guys, all finished up today. We ran out of tools, or parts actually, instead of time today. Yeah, what did we do? We got the rear unit bearings pulled. We got the OEM studs pounded out. We put in the new Z1 Motorsports 60 millimeter studs. And then we reinstalled the unit bearings. We torqued them down to 72 pounds. And then we put the axle shafts in, used the little 3/8 impact gun to tighten them down on the differential side. And then I used the 1/2 inch impact gun to tighten down the axle nut on the outside. Then we put the brakes back on. We got those torqued down to 62 pounds. I could torque the top of the caliper, but the bottom, I don't have the right crow's foot tool to go on the torque wrench to get it, so I just used 2 wrenches hooked up, tightened it down really good. So yeah, then we put the Eibach lowering springs on. I had a set of Eibach lowering springs from my G35 I used to have, saved them, so we got some free low until we bag it out, so that'll be pretty cool. And then we got the work put back on and put the lug nuts back on. And I only put 3 on each side on the back. I've got some Varstone extended lug nuts coming. I'll get some project kicks for it later in the summer, some nice lug nuts. But yeah, so, you know, we got all that done, you know, so now as soon as my new bolt comes in from Nissan for this unit bearing here, person previously working on it screwed it up, get a new bolt. and I'll get a tap for the unit bearing itself. Tap that. Nothing wrong with the unit bearings. They're a little crusty looking, but they feel solid. So yeah, once we get the new bolt in from Nissan, I can put this unit bearing back on. We can reassemble this side, and that should be coming in tomorrow. And same with the Varstone lug nuts. So we'll be able to get these wheel spacer lug nuts off that I have, and get that assembled, put the work on the driver's side on, and we'll also put the front, before we finish up the driver's side, we'll put both the struts with the Eibach lowering springs on them, install them, and then finish up the front here and install the Varstone lug nuts. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow, and we'll install that stuff. Hey guys, picking up where we left off yesterday on the Z, we're going to go ahead and pull off the front two struts. I'll probably take off the right wheel work first, and then we'll pull off both the OEM struts, and then we'll attach these struts that have lowering springs on them, Eibach lowering springs, and we'll mount them on the car for that free low until we bag it out. I went up to Tacoma Screw, and they were closed. But I got my hair cut, so that feels good. I haven't done that in like 3 months. So we'll get that tap on Monday from Tacoma Screw for that the left front unit bearing. But I did get the hardware for it, or the new bolt from Nissan, and I got the Varstone V75, I think is what they're called, neochrome lug nuts in the mail. So I got to go get those out of the mailbox so we can open them up. And then we can go ahead and put these front struts on. So let's do it. Let's see what we have here. Alright guys, I got the Varstone lug nuts installed on there. I got the Eibach front struts with the lowering spring, with the Eibach lowering springs in them installed on the front. Tacoma Screw was closed today, it's Saturday. I thought they were open. So I'll go pick up a tap on Monday. I've got the hardware for the unit bearing, the new hardware from Nissan, so I just got to go pick up a tap because none of these part stores in town have metric taps. So I have to go up there and get a tap on Monday, and then we'll get that unit bearing cleaned up, tapped out, and then we'll reassemble the driver's side and we'll be finished up with this episode. So I'll catch you guys Monday. We'll go pick up that tap. Hey guys, to start the last part of this video, we're gonna head up to Olympia. It's Monday now. We're gonna pick up the tap for the bolt here that got stripped out. I think it's a 12 millimeter and it's a 1.25 thread pitch, so none of the part stores in town had metric ones. So we're gonna go up there and grab that, and also pick up some hardware for the 5th generation 400 straight axle project. So let's go to Olympia, get this stuff from Tacoma Screw. Now that we're back at the shop, we got our 12 by 1.25 tap, so we can go ahead and get the unit bearing tapped out here for the 350Z. And then once that's done, we got our new hardware here from Nissan. So we'll go ahead and get this unit bearing installed, install the brakes, and reinstall this work VSKF. And we're finally all done. So let's do it, guys. Cue the music. last corner's all done. We got the front left all finished up. We got the unit bearing installed, torqued down to 72 pounds. And then we got the brakes on. I got to torque them down to 105, I believe is what it is. And I forgot the dust shield on this side. You can see it there on the ground. But I'm going to get some Brembo brakes for it that belongs on one of these Z's here in the future, probably in the next month or so. So we'll be okay without the dust shield. I'll stick it on then. You probably have bigger ones actually for the Brembo brakes, so we'll see. I'll look into it. But all right, now that we've got this driver's side assembled, I'll go ahead and torque down the brake caliper here, and then we'll get this work thrown back on, and we'll be all finished up.
Let me fall back into sleep. When I wake up, you say I had a real bad dream.
All finished up, guys. We got the front right unit bearing reinstalled, brakes reinstalled, work VSKF reinstalled. And then we got those Varstone V75 neochrome lug nuts to hold us over until we get some project kicks for it later in the summer. That will better complement the work wheels. But thanks for being with me, guys, for the past couple days here. We're working on the Z, like 3 or 4. You know, we've been getting these Z1 Motorsports 60 millimeter wheel studs installed on the unit bearings. You know, most people on YouTube you'll see or anywhere just doing this, they'll stack up washers and they'll use a nut and they'll pull the stud on. Well, that works, but it kind of ruins the threads on the stud as you pull it through. So I don't think it's a too good of a solution for doing that. So that's why I went ahead and just pulled the unit bearings, pressed them in with my press. I mean, that's the way you're actually supposed to do that. You know, other people I'm sure have had good luck with pulling them through, but they won't fully seat. There's like a millimeter or 2 millimeters on the back where they're not fully seated on the wheel unit bearing. So that's why I didn't like doing that method. So we just went ahead and did that. And then we had the driver's side one. The previous owner changed out the unit bearing or something, and one of the bolts was all screwed up, and the unit bearing hole was all screwed up too. So I went and got a tappet Tacoma screw, got that tapped, got a new piece of hardware from Nissan, got that reinstalled, torqued down. Everything's torqued to spec. We went ahead and tore down the rear end to do that. Had to pull out the axle shafts and everything, but that was successful. Reinstalled, successful install the Z1 Motorsport 61 millimeter studs. Plus I had a set of eyebox springs. I'm pretty sure they're eyebox springs because they're white, that I had for my old G35 that were on some old struts that I had for it before I changed it to coilovers. It got sold with the coilovers on it, so I had those old struts left over, so we got some free low until we put this on airbags. So that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, the next episode here, guys, or the next thing I want to do to the Z is I want to put Brembo brakes on it. That would go on a Sport Edition or the Track Edition or whatever. So that's why the brakes look pretty gnarly. Like, I don't think they've been changed for a long time, but they'll last for a few more months. I don't daily drive this car, so it's not a big deal. And then I left the brake dust shield off the front left one by accident, but I'll get that back on when I put the Brembos on, or if the Brembos come with the larger one, I'll probably just put those on. So, but yeah, you know, it looks really good, guys. I'm pretty happy with this stance. It's sitting pretty damn low. I gotta roll the fenders on the rear for sure. I mean, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's touching it, actually. Let me see. Nope, I can fit my pinky in there. Just my pinky. So we'll get those rolled so that way that won't rub until we get the Crown Carbon Crafting wide body over fenders for it. And we're going to get a V-Speed Vertex style body kit for it from Duraflex. I'm not going to spend, it's like $1,200 for the Vertex kit for it, so I'm just going to go ahead and get theirs. It's like $400 plus $100 for shipping. I mean, you can't beat that price for a body kit, so that'll probably be our next thing, and the over fenders, and then we'll get some Brembos stuck on it, so that'll be pretty cool. But alright guys, I'll catch you guys in the next episode here when we're working on the Foreigner, actually, so that'll be pretty cool. Get some more content on that pumped out. And then we'll catch you guys again on the Z when we get either the Crown Carbon Crafting over fenders for it, or the Vertex body kit. I think I'm going to get the Vertex, sorry, it's not a Vertex kit, the V-Speed style, it is the Vertex style kit from Duraflex. So we'll probably be that in the next episode here, working on the Z. We'll get that ordered up. But alright guys, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching today. Thanks for your constant support as always, guys. Hope you guys liked working on the Z with me in this episode. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like the way the wheels look. I hope the way, you know, I like the way the neochrome lug nuts look. I think those wheel studs are way safer than OEM stuff, so I'm happy with that. Plus, if I want to add a spacer or something when I put the wide fenders on, I'll be able to. But alright guys, thank you for watching. Please, if you like Cougar House Garage, you like what we do, check us out at cougarhousegarage.com. Check us out at Facebook.com/Cougar House Garage. And we are Cougar House Garage on Instagram, guys. Follow along there in the daily story that I'm pretty active on, and all the crazy projects we work on here at Cougar House. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.